In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this underwater scene. The purpose of doing this is to learn how to remove backgrounds on photos and combine them, different photos together to make some kind of scene like this. So you'll see in my finished one that I have all of the different elements in the scene on a different layer, and they were all different photographs that I copied and pasted and put in here. So I've given you a link to all these files, and so you'll need to download them to your Google Drive and put them in a folder called Assignment 4. And now I'll show you how to complete this assignment. So go to, after you've downloaded your files for this, go to File, Open, and click on Underwater JPEG. That will be the first thing that you'll need. That's the background for your whole project. So right click on that to open it, and this is what it looks like. Make sure that your Layers tab is open, so go to Window, make sure there's a check there. Once again, we're on the workspace of Essentials Default, but really the Layers tab is the only thing that you really have to have open for this assignment. Alright, so that we'll start copying and pasting different images onto this water background. So let's go to File, Open, and let's get the shark right here. So you'll notice on this image here that the background has like these little dots, checkerboard looking pattern. That means it's transparent. So if you copy and paste all this, you'll only see the sharks. It won't have any type of white background. All right, and that comes in very handy when you have a picture that's already done like that. Some of the pictures that we're going to use on this assignment are not already cut out, so that you'll learn how to deal with both things. So the first tool we're going to use is the lasso tool. If you hold your mouse over a tool for a minute, it will give you a little animation and show you exactly what it does. So the lasso tool helps you make selections, and you just drag your mouse around something that you want to select, and you can select it. So I'm going to get this bottom right shark here. So I'm going to drag my mouse and draw a lasso line around it. I'm going to make a couple of mistakes on purpose so I can show you how to fix it. So let's say I accidentally did not get that fin and maybe part of that fin. So you can see I have this selection, but I didn't include this. If you hold your Shift key, you can go back and just add another circle around that and draw around it. Once again, same thing down here. When I press Shift, you'll see it gives me a little plus. So that means I can add to that selection. All right, so now I have the whole shark selected. I can do Copy, Control C, and then I can just close out of this. I don't need any more, and do Paste. And now I have the shark in there, and you'll see it had no background, so it works out really well. So I'm going to rename this layer, so right click in there and name it Shark. Okay, so now we have the shark on our water background. You can see that if you click on this little eyeball icon to the left of your layer, you can turn things on and off. So you might need to turn them off as we start to copy more in here, and it gets busy while you're working. All right, let's go ahead and copy in some of the other really easy files that I have for you. Let's do these little yellow fish. They have the background removed too. So you can see it has that checkerboard pattern, so that means it's transparent background. And so we're going to use the lasso tool and just drag around some of the fish. Don't get all of them. Just collect some of them with the lasso tool, and once they're selected, do Control C to copy, and then you can close it out. Do Control V to paste them in, and then go over here on your layers, and you can name it Yellow Fish. And let's copy some more in here. Go to Open, and let's get one of these dolphins because they also have the background removed already. I'm going to get, I think I'll get these 3 dolphins here this time. So I'm going to go over here and drag my lasso around there and do Control C. Then I'm going to close this, Control V to paste, name this Dolphins, And let's also get this coral. And after that, the other things that we need to put in here have their background, so they're a little bit different. So I'm going to get this coral. And I don't really need to do the lasso on this because I'm getting everything in this image. So I can just do Control A to select all and Control C to copy and then Control V to paste. All right, now before I start copying the other things in here that have backgrounds, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how you can arrange some of these images in your art. So if you want to move something behind something else, if you click on the layer and drag it, you can pull it behind here so that maybe the coral is in the back. If you want to move it and size it, remember that's called transform. So you do Control T, go to the corner and hold the Shift key, and you can make it smaller. You can maybe move it over here in the corner, something like that. And when you're done, you need to either press this check mark at the very top in the control strip or press Enter, Return. Okay, and then let's do Control T. Let's make them a lot smaller. Move them down here like that and press Enter or the check mark. And then let's move the shark. So do Control T to the shark. Let's move him like over here for now and press Enter. The dolphins, Control T. We'll move them up here and press Enter. All right, so it looks a little bit fakeish like this. So to make it look more realistic, what you can do is lower the opacity of the layer. So if you go over here to dolphins and then on the layers tab it says opacity 100%. That means you can't see through it at all. But if you click on this little triangle and move this slider down, it makes it so that it's a little bit see-through. So if you were actually seeing that in the ocean and the dolphins were farther away, they would be lighter like that. It makes it look a little bit more realistic. And let's do the same thing to the shark. Go to the shark layer and lower the opacity a little bit so that it kind of looks like it's farther away. I think I'm going to make the shark a little bit smaller too. So do Control T. It'll look more like he's way over there. And then press either the check mark or Enter. All right, so now we are ready to copy in the things that have backgrounds and learn some new techniques. The next image I'm going to open is the jellyfish. So go to File, Open, and let's find that, the jellyfish right here. And we want to select all of this. So do Control A, Control C to copy it, and then close it, and then do Paste, Control V. Now, to just show, I want to just show this jellyfish right here, the one that's in the background a little bit, and this big one here. I want to erase all of the other ones. So I'm going to get the eraser tool, and if you click on that, you can see that it is the eraser tool. It gives you that little animation. But if you go up here to the top control strip, you need to make sure that this is set on 100% opacity and that this is 100. And this is where you change the size of your brush. The eraser is like a brush. So we're going to click on this to open it. And we're going to make the size, you can hover it over here and see what size it is. That circle tells you how big it is. I'm going to make it kind of big. Let's make it around 200. And then I want the hardness to be 0. That means I want a very soft brush so it fades. Okay? So with that soft brush set at 200, I'm going to erase around this jellyfish. I don't need to get too close to it. You'll see why in a little while. I'm just going to basically get the edges is the most important thing. Just go around the edges, and so that I'm only showing the big jellyfish and maybe that blurry one that's just below it. But I want to erase this one, so don't get too close to the other one, but something like that looks good. Alright, so I want to show you a cool trick in Photoshop that you can do to blend images. If you go up here, well, let me name this first. If you go up here where it says normal, this is called a blending mode. If we change this normal, Notice how when I drag my cursor down, the jellyfish image does different things. It blends in with the background differently. But when we get it on screen, that is exactly what I want it to look like. It doesn't show any of the black, it just shows the jellyfish. All right, that looks really cool. So I want to pull this jellyfish to be in the very back, so I'm going to put it just above the background. And I also want to move it, so I'm going to do Control T, and when it gives me this box, I'm going to go out here to the corner and make that curved. See how that turns to a curve when it's out here? So I'm going to rotate that around to be kind of like that, and then I'm going to do make it smaller by dragging it in the corner and holding the shift key. And then I'll just move it over here for now. And then press this check mark or enter, either one. All right, so now let's get another image from our folder to copy in there. Let's get this piece of coral right here. Once again, we don't want this whole white box, but it doesn't have a transparent background. Those little checkerboard pattern is not there. But I'm going to select the whole thing, so Control A to select all. Close it, then do Control V. Whoops, I didn't copy it. Let's go back to the coral. So I'm going to get this whole image, Control A to select all, Control C to copy, close it, and then do Control V. Okay, so now I have the coral. You can see it has that white box around it, and I do not want that. So I am going to get the eraser again. And this time, do not get too close to the coral because you're going to do something different around the edges of that one. We can't use the same trick we did in the jellyfish. Unfortunately, we're going to have to do a little bit of extra work to this one. All right, so I have some of it erased. I didn't get too close with the soft brush. Now I want to make the brush hard because I don't want it to look feathered like that. I want it to be a hard line, but I'm going to need to make it smaller. So I'm going to put this around 75-ish for now, and then I'm going to go around and delete a little bit closer to the coral. I'm not going to get all of it because I'm going to use a really small brush to get close to it. But I can still go around here with this thicker brush and try to erase most of the coral. Make sure you get all those little soft lines that are on the outside there. Erase all that. Okay, now I am going to get a small brush to get in the details, somewhere around 20. That should be good. And then I'm going to zoom in too. Oops. I'm going to zoom in by doing Control plus, not whatever I just did. And then move that over with the hand. And now that I'm zoomed in, I can see, and I'm just going to go around the edge of the coral. It doesn't need to be perfect because coral is just kind of a free form shape. If you accidentally erase something you don't want, like if you did this, just do Control Z and you can undo your mistake. Do Control minus and zoom out. Now you can see I have the coral's background removed with the eraser. I'll name this white coral, and then I'm going to do Control T. I'm going to move it down here, maybe make it a little bit smaller. And I see that I have like a little bit of an edge there still, so I'm going to use the eraser and clean that up. Okay, and I might lower the opacity just a little bit on that to make it look a little bit more like it's underwater. I think that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to do the same, try the same thing with the red coral. You can just play around with this and get it to, look more realistic. I'm going to do it to the yellow fish too. We'll lower their opacity a little bit. Notice how if there's something behind them, like here, it lets you see the coral behind it. So I'm going to move that with Control T so that you can't see through there. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to show you how to use another tool when removing backgrounds. So before I move on to the next tool, I'm going to do something that I highly recommend to everybody is to save your work. Even though you're not done, it's good to save it in case your computer crashes or the bell rings and something like that. So you don't have to be finished to save something. You can save something when you're part way through. So I'm going to go up here and go File, Save, and I'm going to name it assign or dash and then my name. And it's going to be a PSD because the PSD means there's layers and I can edit it. So let's just go ahead and save that. All right, so that's good. Now we can continue. Let's open up our next photo. I'm going to show you, let's open up this fish here with the purple background. I'm going to show you how to remove the background on this very easily. There's a tool here called Quick Select Tool. See, when I hover my mouse over it, it shows me that it's the right tool. If you click on that, if you ever can't find a tool, sometimes they're hidden. So if you click on the little triangle there, you can see there's other tools nested in this box. So it might be on Magic Wand tool or something like that. If you press W on your keyboard, it'll go to this box and then you can click Quick Selection Tool, but it should already be default in that mode there. Okay, so in here, when I'm clicked on this tool, it gives me these things to edit up here. My plus and minus. Plus means you want to add to the selection. Minus means take away. And then once again, this is the brush tool like we've been using. The size and the hardness level are only things you need to adjust. You don't need to worry about the spacing right now. All right, so let's make the brush, well, we can leave it at 25. Let's go ahead and leave it at 25. So we want to select this fish. So if you just drag the quick selection tool over the fish, you can see that it starts to select it for you. This is one of my favorite tools in Photoshop. It really doesn't always work on certain images, but this one, it works very well because it's easy for Photoshop to see where the image, where a line is between the two things that you're trying to select. I want to show you now, if you made a mistake and you accidentally clicked like right here and you got some of that purple and you don't want it, if you go over here to the minus, you can go back. I'm going to need to make my brush smaller now to get inside that little crack there. I'm going to make it only like 10. But then I can go back in and fix that little line that it started to select. Make it really small if I want to get in there. Okay, and I'm going to put it back on the plus and get like the very tip of that fin there. And maybe the very tip of it there as well. Other than that, I think it looks like a pretty good selection. So now I'm just going to copy it, just like everything else. Control C to copy it. Then I can close this out and do Control V. I'll just name this one Fish. And you can do a Control T, drag it by the corner and hold the Shift key to change the size. Maybe we'll put it over here for now, and then press Enter or the check mark. And then you can lower the opacity a little bit too if you want to make it look a little more realistic. All right, so let's open up the turtle next. And let's do Control Plus to zoom in. Now this time, instead of selecting the turtle, I'm going to show you how you can just select the background too. So let's go ahead and copy the whole thing into our document. Select all, Control A, copy, Control C. We can X that out and then paste the turtle in here, and then we can remove the background. So let's stay on the quick selection tool. Leave it on plus. We need to make the brush bigger though. Let's go back to about 50, something like that'll work. And then start selecting the background. Now notice how it's selected the foot, and I didn't want it to, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how you can work around that. So I have all the water selected, but it also selected things I didn't want selected. So I'm going to go over here to this minus. I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to click back on the foot. I'm going to make the brush a little smaller now to get the details. Make it about 25-ish. And I can go back in and add in the foot. And then it didn't get the tail. I'm going to fix that. Go back in and get this foot. And then part of the head was missing. Let's go in and drag the brush over the head. Get it to the edge of the turtle. I see that some of the stripes on this top fin weren't selected, so I'll go grab those. Same with this on the right side. Just click in those little areas. All right, now I think we have pretty good selection. All right, so this time we have the water selected instead of the turtle. So now I'm just going to press delete on my keyboard, the top right delete button. And then to deselect, Control D. Now notice how it left a white line around the edge. All you have to do is get your eraser out again and just go and drag the eraser over that line and delete that. Okay, and then let's name it, this layer, turtle. I'm going to do Control minus to zoom out a little bit, and we can lower the opacity on the turtle a little bit, but I need to get him away from the other animals so it doesn't show up. All right, so now I'm just going to move everything around a little bit to make a better layout. So I'm going to go on the fish layer. I'll do Control T, maybe make this a little smaller. You can copy it again. So like, let's say I want to have 2 of those fish. I can just get the lasso tool, select it, do copy, paste. And now I have another one, and I can do Control T, make it a little bit smaller, maybe make it down here, lower the opacity a little bit, call it fish copy. All right, so there's only one more image in the stuff that I gave you, and it was another piece of coral. I'm not going to erase that one for you because you already saw how I erased that coral. But if you want to use that coral picture, do the same thing, open it up. I'll show you which one I mean. File, open. It was this piece of coral here too. So you could just take the eraser and go around and copy this whole thing, and then take the eraser and erase the background on that one, and you can put it at the bottom somewhere. All right, so that's what your first composite image will look like after you've learned how to remove backgrounds. You learned how to do layer mode by making, or blending option by making this on screen instead of normal. You learned how to lower the opacity. So this was a very important lesson. The last thing you need to do, of course, is type your name. So get the text tool. It's going to end up being whatever font and size and color was used last. If you want to change the color, you can do it there. Like this, if I want to make my text yellow, I go here, and then I'm going to click on the image, type your name. And if you click on this check mark, you can get out of the text mode. And then you can do Control T to move it. I'll put my text over here. If you want to make it bigger, you can do this, the Control T thing. And then press the check mark, and then save it again. Since I already saved it before, I don't need to name it. It's just already saved. And then I'll save a JPEG to put on my Google slide presentation. So when you're done, save a JPEG, a copy of it as a JPEG also. And that's it.